Okay, I'm gonna do some work on this bike here, but I gotta cut down some rubber headlight mounts here. So these are the mounts that go up on the headlight up on this bike right here. So I gotta shorten these up. These are the only ones I could come up with. The stock ones are these little short stubby ones here like this. So I need to cut this off. So there's a few different ways of doing it. Hacksaw up there, you got cut off blades like this. And then we got some nippers. We're gonna try some nippers. Okay, so I got some tools to test. These guys set me down some tools to play with. One of them was the easy cutting tool. So there you go. So these are it's spelled like that. Whatever the hell it is. Knipex, what I call it. Sure. So anyway, these are some tools I'm supposed to plus out. So these are made for cutting stuff off. And it's supposed to be easier than using my old way, which is dikes. So we're going to find out how easy it is to do that. So this is my go-to wrench for cutting anything. A pair of old proto dikes. It's the best cutting pliers I've got. They work really good. Okay. Close the door. Less interruptions. Alright, let's see what we got to work with here. So these are supposed to be easier cutting, 6 1/4 inch. I assume there's some kind of a part number someplace in all this area. I don't know. Whatever. There's a number right there if you need one. So 160 SBA, whatever that means. Made in Germany. Supposed to be good tools. A friend of mine uses this stuff. He swears by it. So. See how good they really are. Oh, it's me cutting open. I'm using my official tool here for cutting everything open. Okay, the instructions are locking. Okay, so these have a nice gear reduction deal going on here. So it gives you a lot more leverage. So the pivot point is way up here instead of being down here. It's a lot closer. It's right up in the jaw. See this pivot? There's my rubber. The pivot's right here, so the difference is you're going from here to there. So that's the difference. Alright, let's see what we got here. So I'm not sure what you're supposed to be able to cut with these. We'll find out. Okay, well, first we're going to see how these ones work. So okay, let's go right in there. Okay, it ain't going to cut it. Leave a mark in there though. Okay, now let's see how good these are. You ain't cutting either. There you go, they don't work either. So a heat treated 1/4 inch 20 screw you ain't going to cut through. Yep. Definitely not cutting. That's the same spot I used in the other one too. Alright, so these aren't perfect for everything. Now let's go see what we can actually cut with these things, because these are failing. They're failing because they're not doing the job I want to do. Alright, let's get some light in this place. Alright, let's go over here and see what we can really cut. Okay, so now I'm going to do some real cutting. Okay, let's start with some easy stuff. Here's some 1/8 inch welding rod. Okay, so let's see how easy this is. About that easy. So easy as this one. It definitely is easier. You can cut through though. There it goes. Try that again. Doesn't like to cut through all the way. Already damaged the blade? No, it's still good. That's weird. So this one here cuts off nice and cleanly. So if you get on the outside edge, it cuts cleanly. But you cut over here where I was trying to cut that bolt off, it doesn't want to cut there. If I cut a little bit further in. Yeah, see the blade doesn't cut all the way on the inside. You gotta be on the outside of the cutter to do it. So there's a gap in there, you can see in the gap. So not made for crappy material. Alright, so that was that. So let's try some crappy screw. So this will be hardened, so we can't cut that. We already know it doesn't cut hard stuff. Let's see, what do we got here in the junk pile we don't care about? Ooh, here's a crappy looking screw. It looks like regular steel. My go-to pliers. Cuts it. You gotta use 2 hands. So there's the finish you get. Okay, let's try this one. Same deal. I don't want to go. It slides down the bottom and doesn't want to cut off there. I don't like that. You gotta get way at the top. Let's try that again. See, it cuts cleanly if you're at the tip, but you can see how much more effort it took to cut it. If you come down to the bottom there where it should be to cut, see, it cuts a lot. It's half as easy to cut. That one actually cut the whole end off though. The problem is the cutter's cut at a V angle, so where the blade's already getting dull. But yeah, you can definitely tell I've been cutting hard shit I shouldn't be cutting. Alright, so overall they work. They're definitely easier than using my other ones. So these are about 40 something years old. These are brand new. So see, it doesn't want to cut all the way. I don't like that. So the jaw is not made quite right. See, it's got that gap in there, so I don't know if that's from me. I don't think that's from me doing it. I think it's the way the cutter's made. So it could be made a little bit better quality than this, so it cut cleanly, but it does give you the leverage you need. And the blade looks like it's holding up. It's not disappearing. Now this screw might not be the best anymore. We'll throw it back in there just to make sure. Okay, so that was probably a number 10 or some kind of metric. Now let's see here. We go to some kind of a 1/4-inch bolt of some type. So here's a 1/4-20 screw, which is not a grade 8 or anything. But it's a pretty good chunk though. So it slid off the edge of the bolt, but it did cut it. Takes pressure though. Two-handed pressure. So that's a 1/4-20 bolt or screw. Not heat treated, just a regular quality. It's not a grade 8. And it takes some effort, but you're definitely maximizing the quality of this tool. Now, what's the blade look like now? Yeah, the blade's still holding in there, still sharp. So, but it's not going to cut hard stuff too well. There's a screw. These can be hard, they can be soft. I don't know which one this is. Says you're supposed to be able to cut nails with this thing, but I don't think if it's a hard nail I won't cut it. Alright. So we'll see what this says here. It's butter. Go with one hand. 2 hands. One hand. Yeah, so if you got a really, really good grip, you can do it with one hand, but I'm pretty strong. Yeah. you get in there deeper on the inside, cuts a lot easier. So as you come up that blade, it gets dull. It's twice as hard to cut out here on the end as it is with way down on the inside. The problem is with this cutter, way on the inside is a gap, so it doesn't give a clean cut. So that's a problem. But it does cut pretty good there. You see, it doesn't cut cleanly because the plier is not made correctly. So there you go. As long as it's not too hard, it seems to work. So if they just make the tool correctly, it'd be a lot better. So the blade is definitely heat treated. It's not going away. So it's definitely holding up. So the problem is it's got that gap right there. You can see the gap in there. It looks like it's made that way. Looks like it's relieved in there, but I don't feel it cut that way. Yeah, I don't know if it's ground that way or if I just wore it out that way, but anyway, I don't like the gap on the inside. Alright, so old proto, new stuff. Easier cutting, but that still works too. But definitely easier. These are just a little bit longer set, so that does make a difference being shorter. But overall, they work pretty good. Just if the blade was more even, I would like it a lot better. But yeah, it looks like you're supposed to cut way up on top, which takes twice as much cutting power when you're that far up. But, alright, well there you go.